So it's a music review, and this is the 1976 review, Chicken Skin Music by Cooder. Now, if you aren't familiar with Cooder, then you've been missing out on big time. This is his fifth album, and I came to him a few years before this, but this 1976 effort really cemented me in the fan club of this man who had previously worked with Frank Zappa, worked with Little Feat, and is now 30-40 years further on, is regarded as one of the greatest American musicians of all time for his diversity, his ability to put to music the history of popular music from around the world. He's very much into an eclectic mix, and also a mix of styles. So if you want some gospel influenced songs, he can deliver. Blues, that's right up his street. R&B, very, very capable. And Tex-Mex was established through him, and he's also adept at country music, Hawaiian music, and of course Mexican style music. He was described as this album was described as a Hawaiian colloquy synopsis with goosebumps. Not quite sure what it means, but to me it means an eclectic mix of all the best in world music. So to this particular album then, Chicken Skin Music, as I say, fifth album released by him, and it opens up with Leadbelly's The Bourgeois Blues. Starts off with Rye's solo on acoustic guitar, mesmerising as it is, before the Oompa band join in, and the accordion adds a touch of folklore to this Leadbelly standard. The introduction of one Flaco Jimenez, a Mexican accordion player, arrived on this album, and he's been with Rye ever since, and he adds a certain sort of specialism to the style of music. Lyrically, Leadbelly was writing about racism and about how the political elite in Washington managed to create a division between those bourgeois whiteys and the rank and file African American. And continuing on with those lyrics, it's really magnificent reading this stuff from Leadbelly. He refers to whites only establishments, and also to the frequent use of that word, the N-word, nigger. And although I can understand why it's deplored, it also has a sort of magical quality when it's used by blacks to describe themselves and other blacks. Up next is I Got Mine. It's a sound, a song that brings to my mind the minstrel type show, the gambling houses in New Orleans, with the jazz and that Oompa band full of magnificent horns with a hint of piano, and it's the lead guitar exquisitely played by Cooder. It's a dream listening to the instrumentation meshing together, mingling, and vocal style, underrated I think. Rye's vocal style, he's very adept at storytelling, and there's an absolutely exquisite trumpet solo in the middle of this. Yeah, some really cute mandolin on here as well. Now the lyrics, as I touched on, it basically describes life's ups and downs, luck and not so much luck. Firstly, what happens in a gambling haunt and a crap game that brings the police to the establishment, and that in the need to escape quickly, some money's left, and you take an opportunity of a slice of luck to sort of better yourself by slipping out the back with the proceeds of this cash. And in contrast to this, you then move to illegal gambling dens and are sort of jettisoned up really in terms of status. But then you're brought back down to earth after returning home to your girl and finding that she swapped you for a better model, so to speak, and you end up running for your life. And it's all brilliantly put together. Always Lift Me Up segued into Kanaka Wa Wa, which clearly is a Hawaiian instrumental piece. But to the former, written by an Appalachian blind Alfred Reed, it's pure gold, this song, with some brilliant harmonies on top of that distinctive guitar chord sound of Cooder's. And again, his solos are riddled with feeling and truth. And also very impressive is the phase of harmonies in this. It's 6 minutes of majestic Mexican-influenced folk blues music. Jimenez is to the fore on accordion as it oozes in and out, and there's some slack-keyed guitar thrown in, whatever that means. But it's a really magical 6 minutes of music. Lyrically, it's a pretty clear-cut song about life's troubles, and that you as a friend should always try and lift your friend up, try and be positive. He's weighed down with problems with not enough money, problems with maybe his wife, problems in his temptations, easily dragged in sort of alcohol and gambling, and it would be very easy to be very critical, but the message is to try and look on the bright side, try and lift him up, as the song suggests, and never knock him down. Wonderful. Track 4 is He'll Have to Go. This is based on a country pop classic written by Jim Reeves, and it's given the Hawaiian bolero rhythm treatment with some awesome interplay by Flaco Jimenez on accordion. The playing by him carries you into this bolero moment, reminiscent of a Mexican wedding. It really is very, very uplifting and lovely music to sit and listen to. Well, the lyrics tell a story of love and the battle for a beautiful girl between you and another man. The words are very, very poignant, very, very predictable, but sang in such a way by Cooder that you really hold on to every word. Here's a little extract. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone, and let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low, and you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go. Well, next up is Smack Dab in the Middle. This has been part of Cooder's live set probably since he recorded this. It's a rhythm and blues with an absolutely triumphant trio of male harmony votes who appeared on the Let's Have a Ball tour. If you can get an opportunity to download that concert, you will not be disappointed. the three inspirational singers, I'm just referring to my notes here, are Bobby Keys, he's one of them, Bobby King, Herman Johnson, who's the tenor, Bobby Keys is the soprano, and the other guy, I can't quite see him, is Terry Evans. These three guys as a harmony trio are unbelievable, and they of course complement Rye's nifty guitar work on this, and he combines both electric and acoustic slide on this to make it a real hoot, a memorable song smack dab in the middle. Lyrically, it's a pretty simple song about the desire to enjoy the qualities of life, the excessive drinking, the good food, the nice clothes, the nice house, the car, and most importantly, of course, rock and roll music, and it illustrates some examples. Here's an extract. I want a big jazz band, 100 ballet curls, a street that's paved with natural pearl. Bring me a wagon load of bonds and stocks, and then open up the door to Fort Knox. Then throw me. Yeah, well, you can see that's what it's about, acquiring wealth. So to track 7 then, it's Stand By Me, written by Lieber and Stoller, but made a big hit in the 60s by Benny King. Love that version as well. But here, Cooder's version, it's slowed down a bit, and quite a bit in fact, and it's a somber spiritual gospel song with some exquisite guitar chords and those awesome gospel harmonies. The harmonies almost sound female-like, even though the credits are for 3 males, as I've mentioned before. Lyrically, it's just about the power of love to overcome all. But it's an absolutely fantastic piece of music, and Rye's done a very good cover version of it. Next up is Yellow Roses. The Hawaiian greats here, steel guitarist Gabi Pahinua and the slack key guitar master Atta Isaacs appear on this one to ease us through the siesta. It's breathtakingly beautiful with some tasteful mandola by Cooder. The vocals make you cry with sadness, I find, and lyrically it's about the pain at the end of a relationship and those feelings which linger for far longer as they slowly ebb away. The metaphor here is with regard to the dying flowers as the life seems to disappear out of them. Next up is Chloe. This is an instrumental. It's got a western swing about it. The mandola and the acoustic guitars are highlighted here, and it's very nourishing, I found, on the listener, and it's got a sort of a banjo sexto played by Cooder. I actually had a look at that on the internet. It's just a type of banjo, but it's always useful to know what these instruments are. But it's absolutely gorgeous. To wrap it all up is Good Night Irene, and this is where Jimenez takes centre stage for this rousing finale. The accordion is very dominant in the music. It's another Leadbelly gem. Apparently he first recorded it in 1934. It's waltz-like. It's described as a folk ballad, but I certainly heard the waltz sort of feeling, and one of rise favourites on his live show, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Lyrically, well, if taken literally, the first verse suggests love for a young girl, an underage girl that's repelled by parents, so unfulfilled, but the love remains trapped in one's dreams, even in later life when life events have passed on. So, in conclusion, I have to say that this is an album that, a bit like a good wine, it gets better with age. The eclectic mix that Cooder brings to the table, the musical table, is something to be looked at with a lot of good feeling. For those of you who aren't familiar with this man's music, I really suggest you dig in. And as I see it, it's almost a history lesson in the history of music in the Americas, North and South. And we get a complete plethora of blues, soul, rhythm and blues, country music, and Mexican music, and other strains of Latin American music. And it's like a melting pot, really, an album, because Cooder always chooses the songs carefully, and he also mixes them up with an occasional one written by himself. But with regard to this 1976 gem, Chicken Skin Music, get out and listen to it. It's breathtaking.